Hello and welcome back to the Football Rundown. We're here back with a match preview today. Stockport County take on Northampton Town at Edgeley Park tomorrow night. As you can tell, my voice has gone a little bit, not been so well over the weekend. But, we're trying to kick on, and obviously we will be doing the pre-match stuff tomorrow night as well. That won't be affected. Fingers crossed on that one. But of course, Stockport County had Charlton Athletic at the weekend in a game which finished 1-1. Probably a disappointing result in some ways, but more importantly, probably a disappointing performance from those that were at the game. I've obviously listened to David CHALLINOR afterwards as well, and he didn't sound too happy with how his team performed. We're going to go into what he said after the game. We're going to play a little bit of his post-match interview, but he called out the players, I think, in my opinion. He talked about the point that there's no point having ball-playing midfielders if they don't make the most of it. He called out Louis Barry's decision-making and lack of career assists. He talks about silly yellow cards. I'm not going to play that bit of the clip, but yeah, he talks about silly yellow cards being handed out. Of course, that's in reference to Fraser Horsfall, who saw 2 yellow cards being handed to him, which keeps him out of this game against his former club. Obviously, so just mentioned, misses his next match against his former club. He only missed 1 league game last season. That was the 4-0 away defeat to Tranmere Rovers. So who's going to fill in alongside Ethan Pye tomorrow night? That's a conversation we can have. We're just going to go over the match day's results. So obviously Shrewsbury Town played Exeter on Thursday night. They obviously won 2-0. Reading beat Crawley 4-1. Wickham with a 3-1 home win over Peterborough United. Blackpool lost 2-1 at home to Barnsley. Bolton beat Burton Albion 2-1. Burton are now the only team to have not won a game so far in League One after Cambridge beat Wigan 2-0 at home. County, of course, drew 1-1 with Charlton away. Huddersfield got a 3-1 win over Bristol Rovers. Bristol Rovers fans, I don't think, are particularly happy with that result. And I've even heard some Bristol Rovers fans saying that potentially the manager could be on his way out if results don't improve. Birmingham City got a 3-1 win against Lincoln City away from home. Mansfield lost 1-0 to Stevenage, and Northampton Town, Tuesday night's opponents beat Leyton Orient 1-0, a big win for them. And Rotherham United, of course, lost 1-0 at home to Wrexham. So this is how the League One table looks right now. Birmingham City, of course, still top by 2 points with a game in hand over second place Wrexham. Wycombe Wanderers have climbed up the table in recent weeks. They find themselves third in the table. Mansfield Town fourth. Exeter City have also climbed up into the top half of the table over recent weeks. They find themselves fifth, just a point ahead of Huddersfield, who are in the last playoff position as it stands. Lincoln City, County's opponents on Saturday, found themselves just outside the playoffs. They're on level points and goals difference with Huddersfield Town. Barnsley, of course, just a point ahead of Stockport County, who found themselves in 9th. Stevenage 10th, Bolton 11th, and Charlton, who played at weekend, 12th, just in the top half of the table. And as you can see, Reading, Blackpool, Peterborough, Rotherham, Wigan, Bristol, Northampton and Leyton Orient all find themselves in the bottom half of the table. But it's Shrewsbury, Crawley, Cambridge and Burton who find themselves in a relegation zone. Though, of course, Cambridge did manage to find their first win in League One at the weekend, and that's put them up a position into 23rd. Big result for them. So as I say, Dave CHALLINOR didn't sound particularly happy with the performance, and I wouldn't say he didn't sound happy with the result. I think he said it's a decent point on reflection, but the performance I don't think he was happy with. I don't think he's been happy with the way the players have started the season, or certainly over the last few weeks. This is what he had to say after the game.
Dave, a lot to unpack from a game like that. What is your assessment?
Delighted with a point, because again, probably from all the games we've played, whereas I can look at points our previous day and said we maybe should have won the game, we're probably not fortunate to get a point. Maybe I don't think our performance was where we want it to be, but it's a tough place to come, and maybe just that's my I suppose expectations of us and where we've come from too, but we've got to back that up on Tuesday. Now if we get 3 points on Tuesday, then it's not a bad return.
Pleased at least with the character and the determination you showed in the second half to get that point, especially with 10 men.
Yeah, but you have to do that, so that's what you have to be careful. That's a given for me. That still doesn't go away from the fact that you've got to back yourselves to play when it's on and make the right decisions. If we're going to play like that and we're going to be backs to the wall and we're going to be reliant on counter-attacks and we're going to be reliant on second balls in midfield, loads of them players wouldn't play. We're not getting the best out of them. It's pointless me having Lewis, Bate and Ollie Knorr within centre midfield if they're not going to play. I might as well just play. I might as well just go and get two 6'3" lads to smash it forward, not drop on second balls, hook everything forward, play Tanto up front and going behind, play a back five that's all massive that can all head it. That's not us. It's not what we've put together. So you still have to do all them things. You still have to stay resilient. Whether you play or not, you've still got to tackle. You've still got to head. You've still got to defend set pieces. You've still got at times hook things. But you've got to make good decisions. And if the right decision is to play into midfield because we've got good players, then that's the right decision.
So that's what he's had to say. Obviously, he said he was delighted with the point, but he's questioned the ability of the midfield. Are they playing the correct balls? Are they making the most of it when they have the ball? Because like he's saying there, if they're not making the right decisions, they're not doing the right thing with the ball when they have it, he might as well just play, sit back and play long ball with Tanto making runs in behind. So I want to get your thoughts on that one. Very interesting that, in my opinion, he's calling out the ability of the county midfielder, I suppose, to control the game of football and make sensible decisions, which I think is a big thing to call out. But he's obviously not been happy with performances over recent weeks. And I suppose with the results haven't been particularly brilliant, I can kind of understand why.
From a defensive point of view, I mean, you seem to deal with what they throw at you from open play pretty well, but I guess set pieces were an issue at times. The delivery from Taylor was difficult to defend.
Set piece delivery for me makes no difference. Since people put good balls in, great, but there's one ball going at it. You're one person. No one's marking two men. No one should be marking two men. You've got to get against people, and it has to be life or death. And if that's a problem, then don't give corners away. There was, like I say, there were preventable ones if you defend properly that don't have to go for corners. And then if they do go for corners, then get against your man, do your job. It comes you or him. Very, very, very simple. And see things through. If you don't, then that's when it becomes a problem.
It's like he said there, all well and good someone having a good set piece delivery, but that shouldn't mean that County shouldn't be able to stop that if they're doing their job properly. Almost had a bit of a Roy Keane moment there. Do your job. But yeah, obviously not happy with the goal which conceded from a set play. Want to get your thoughts on that? Do you think he's been harsh on the defending there? Do you think County should have done better from the set piece? Having not watched the game, only seen it, briefly in highlights, it did look like a bit of a bit of a soft one for us to let go in, to be honest. But I want to get your thoughts on that. Do you think he's harsh to call out the defence, or do you think he's absolutely spot on to do so?
He didn't have too many chances in transition, but there was that one big moment, I guess, for Louis Barry just a few minutes before their equaliser, and as he has Nick Powell on the back post, that feels like a big moment in the game.
Yeah, I don't know whether Powley's obviously a little bit disciplined. I don't know whether Louis should square it. It's a part of the game that Louis needs to get better at. If you look at, and listen, that's not taken away from him. I think he's on 7 or 8 goals now this year, so you could say that if he was a little bit more unselfish, that he had less goals. But if you look over the course of his career, I think he's had less than 10 assists over the whole of his career, and I'd suggest that includes a whole lot of games. So he has to pick them moments, especially on his left foot. If there's someone in a better position, that's the next part of his game, if you like. But no one's ever going to criticise him for taking it on and backing himself to be able to score. I have no issue at all with that.
Yeah, so as you can hear in that clip, he's obviously questioning Louis Barry whether or not he should have squared it to Powell in that moment in the game. But he's also been fairly critical of the lack of assist as well in his game during his career. I think it's a fair assessment, though. I think the thing is you can rate Louis Barry as a player with also being able to make critiques of his game, which I think is different to criticism. I think that if it's valid, if it's constructive, which I think that is, then I think we can all acknowledge he's a brilliant player at the age he's at, but he's also got a lot to work on. And once he does score goals, he also does need to work on his part of the game where he gets assists, and potentially he could have squared it in that moment as well. Again, want to get your thoughts on that as well. But that's what Dave CHALLINOR had to say post-match. So I think it was a frustrating post-match interview from his point of view. I think he's obviously happy with the point in the end, but frustrated with the performance. He obviously doesn't feel that County are playing to their strengths really. He doesn't feel like we're sort of playing and working on what we've worked on over the last couple of years. I do think an element of it is we've brought in quite a lot of new players, and it is going to take time to adjust and adapt. But I think that we're at a point in the season now where we should start to hopefully see it click a little bit more. But that's his view on the game at the weekend. We're now going to look forward to the game, which is tomorrow night, where County, of course, have drawn 3 of their last 5 league games while losing 4-1 to Leyton Orient, as well as beating Shrewsbury Town. This week sees them take on a Northampton side, which has put some distance between them and the relegation zone, who will win against Leyton Orient at the weekend. The 1-0 win at Sixfields now sees a 3-point gap between them and Orient, who's at 20th in the table. Northampton have won twice in their last 5 league matches. They have faced some heavy defeats as well along the way. The Cobblers beat Huddersfield 3-1 in September, but since then have faced a 2-0 defeat to Mansfield, a 4-2 defeat to Bolton, and a 4-1 defeat to Wrexham before winning at the weekend, which I think was a big win for them. Former Fulham, Chelsea and Norwich Academy graduate Cameron McGeehan, I think I've said that right, is their top scorer in the league so far this season with 4 league goals. He scored the only goal of the game at the weekend for them. Big goal as well, but I don't think it was the prettiest goal, but you take them when they come. Stockport County are now 10 games into the League One season. They sit 9th in the table with 4 wins, 5 draws and 1 defeat. They've scored 14 while conceding 8. But interestingly enough, by this point last season, they also sat 9th in the League 2 table. 5 wins, 2 draws and 3 defeats while scoring 20 and conceding 13. So obviously County had actually lost 2 more games by this point last season before we'd obviously gone to crack League 2 and lose just 5 more games across the season, as the Hatters won the title by 4 points. It's interesting that because it feels like it's been a strange start, and I think we look back at last season with almost rose-tinted spectacles of how good the season was, but as we say, at this point last season, we'd lost more games and we were still in the same position we're in now. So there's some people who think, we're doing quite well to be in the position we're in. There's some people thinking we're potentially not doing as well as we should be doing. But it can click, like I've just said, we're at a point in the season now where it should start to click. And if things do start to click, then I think we'll push on, because I do think we've got a higher, the potential we've got has a higher ceiling than where we're at. But also, if we don't get it right, then who are we to say that we should be in the position we're in at the moment? So we're doing well actually to be in the position we're in, but we obviously have a higher ceiling of potential. We can go up the league with what we've got available to us, but things have to click. And at the moment, it seems like it's not quite there. But yeah, interesting when I looked at that actually, compared to last season, after a similar amount of games, it's not that far away from where we are at the moment. So I want to get your thoughts on that one as well. Obviously, County's next 5 league games sees them face Northampton, Lincoln, Reading, Bolton and Wrexham. Only 2 of these opponents are currently in the bottom half of the table, so it could be a tricky set of fixtures for County before what I expect will be an international break. The weekend we're meant to face Wrexham, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Of course, we do have Forest Green in the Cup in amongst some of those fixtures as well. We're just going to go over the County head-to-head record with Northampton as well. Of course, County have only lost 3 league games at Edgeley Park in all of 2024, and you have to go all the way back to October the 27th, 1986 to find the last time Northampton managed to win at Edgeley Park, when they beat Stockport County 3-0 that day. Both teams won on home soil during their meetings in League 2 in the 22-23 season before Northampton secured promotion with a win over Tranmere on the final day, I think it was. County had the last league win though with a 2-0 win in January 2023. Northampton have won 3 of the last 5 league meetings against County, but of course County's last win before January 2023 came in Edgeley Park on the 22nd of October 2005 when they won 4-2. Current Everton manager Sean Dyche was playing centre half for Northampton that day as well. As we go into the game, obviously tomorrow it's a quick turnaround, as Dave Charner said in his post-match. There's no real injury updates in that post-match interview. I didn't hear anything about a player being back available or a player being ruled out. We obviously know that Fraser Horsfall suspended due to a late yellow card. For Stockport County, it's actually County's first league sending off since Callum Camps versus Grimsby on October the 15th, 2022, I believe. But yeah, after Charlie's apparent unhappiness with the midfielders as well, does he stick or twist with Bate and Norwood in the midfield tomorrow night? Will be very interesting as well. What I'm going to go with here is I'm going to go with what I would pick and what I think CHALLINOR will go with, but I'll start with what I think Dave Charner will go with. I think he'll go with a 3 at the back. I think he'll go with Mingy, Hughes and Ethan Pye. I think bringing in Sam Hughes, which I think will be the sensible solution with Horsfall being suspended. I think he'll look to try and put 2 players in a little bit more settled in the team alongside him, just to help him ease him into the team. I think he'll stick with Connolly again. I think he'll go with Ibi Toure left wing back or left midfield if you like. I think he'll bring Camps back into the team, to be honest, alongside Bate, who obviously has the captain's armband. Nick Powell seemed to do fairly well from what I saw in the highlights at the weekend, obviously winning that penalty as well. I think he'll play in behind 2 strikers, where I think he'll play with split strikers, Cal Wotton and Louis Barry. I think that's what he'll go with. I think he'll go with a 3-5-2 almost. What I would go with is slightly different to that. I would go with a 4-3-3. Curry Adai, of course, in goal. Jay Mingy, Sam Hughes, Ethan Pye, and AB Toure to make up the back four with Bate, Powell, Camps, and Camps in midfield. With Odin Bailey on the right hand side cutting in, Louis Barry from the left, and of course Tanto Laffy down the middle, who I'm surprised hasn't started as many games as I thought he would have so far this season. But also as well with Odin Bailey, I thought he did well against Wigan. I'm surprised he didn't get a look in at the weekend, to be honest. So that's my thoughts on what I would go with. Let me know what you think as well in terms of team prediction and who you would pick. We're just going to go over the games as well coming up this weekend in League One. This Tuesday night. They're all on Sky Sports Plus. Barnsley against Charlton, Birmingham against Bolton, Bristol against Shrewsbury, Burton against Wickham, Crawley against Lincoln, Exeter City will take on Reading, Leyton Orient will be looking to bounce back after defeat at the weekend. They'll take on Rotherham United, Peterborough against Blackpool, Stevenage, Cambridge, County Course, Northampton, Wigan against Mansfield, and Wrexham against Huddersfield, which could be an interesting game. As I say, all kick off at 7:45 on Sky Sports Plus. In terms of score prediction, I think that County need a big response. I think they need a good performance and a good score line. I think to just maybe clear a bit of negativity away, clear the cobwebs away. I suppose as we're approaching Halloween, if you like. I'm going to go with a 3-0 score prediction for Stockport County. I want to see us keep a clean sheet. I want to see us score a couple of goals and get that confidence back up and get us playing similar to like how we were at the back end of last season. So that's my thoughts on it. That's the team I would go with. That's a prediction. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win, hopefully, for Stockport County. Thanks if you've all managed to make it through the whole video with me talking like this, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget as well, we will be going live pre-match at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on the channel, and also post-match at the full-time whistle. So keep an eye out for all that as well. But as I say, if you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always, and thanks for watching. Subscribe as well.